Welcome to Vantage Aditya. There are moments in leadership where the world seems to hold its breath. Moments in which a single decision becomes larger than a lifetime. And tonight, we revisit one such moment. A narrow river in northern Italy, a moonlit sky, a silent army, and one man who understood that destiny does not wait for permission. This is the night Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon. Not a battle, not a speech, a single step. A step that rewrote the fate of Rome and revealed the deepest truth of leadership. Greatness begins where hesitation ends. This story is not meant to be admired from a distance. It is meant to be lived. Because after every ancient moment, we mirror it with a modern one. The past is not history. The past is a manual. The decree that cornered a leader. Rome was trembling under the weight of its own politics. Senators gathered behind closed doors, fearful of one man's rising influence. Julius Caesar had become too popular, too victorious, too loved by the army that followed him through impossible campaigns. And fear is the birthplace of control. To neutralize him, the Senate issued a decree. Disband your army. Return to Rome as an ordinary citizen. Stand trial if required. Submit. Everyone understood the real meaning. Without his army, Caesar was defenseless. Returning meant surrender. Returning meant humiliation. Returning might even mean death. His generals watched silently as he read the decree. They waited to see whether he would bow to fear or rise above it. Modern leaders face the same decree in different words. A founder is told by investors to abandon their bold vision and take a safer route. A manager is asked to limit ambition because it threatens established hierarchies. A creator is told to tone down originality because it makes others uncomfortable. Every era has a Senate. Every leader receives a decree. And the test is always the same. Will you shrink or will you step into the storm? The night of thought before action. Caesar walked away from the camp that night, leaving the murmurs of his commanders behind. Under the cold sky, alone with his thoughts, he knelt and touched the soil he had fought on for years. The ground beneath him held the stories of battles won, alliances forged, and loyalty earned. But all of that would vanish the moment he surrendered his power. He realized something quietly, almost painfully. A lifetime of achievement collapses the moment you agree to become less than what you are. In the modern world, people face this exact moment in quieter forms. A professional stands at the threshold between a safe job and a dream they have postponed for years. A founder decides whether to double down on their idea or walk away before it becomes uncomfortable. A leader questions whether to take responsibility for a failing initiative that everyone else has abandoned. These are the silent nights before action. These are the nights when destiny whispers, asking whether you are willing to lose comfort in order to gain clarity. The walk toward the Rubicon. The army marched toward the river with an eerie calm. No shouting, no commands. Only the rhythmic sound of thousands of footsteps, all moving toward a line they were forbidden to cross. The Rubicon itself was small, barely wider than a modern road. Yet crossing it meant civil war. Crossing it meant becoming a rebel. Crossing it meant choosing a future that could not be undone. Caesar walked ahead of his men. His face was unreadable. Every general knew what crossing meant. Every soldier felt the weight of history pressing against their armor. But no one dared to speak. Sometimes leadership is not loud. Sometimes leadership is silence that others willingly follow. Today, leaders walk toward their Rubicon when they make irreversible commitments. It happens when a founder signs the papers to self-fund their startup with everything they have. It happens when a creator announces publicly that they will produce content every day for a year. It happens when a leader removes the safety net and decides that there will be no turning back. Commitment is not created when things are easy. Commitment is created when retreat is still possible, but you refuse to take it. the act of crossing. At midnight, Caesar reached the riverbank. The water was dark. The air was still. The world felt paused. He looked at his men. He looked at the river. Then he whispered the words that changed history. The die is cast, and he stepped into the water. His soldiers watched him. There was a heartbeat of silence. Then they followed. Slowly at first, then with conviction. As the last soldier stepped across, a transformation happened. Rome was no longer in control of Caesar's destiny. Caesar was in control of Rome's. Modern leaders cross their Rubicon in moments that never look dramatic from the outside. A founder announces the official launch of their company, even if the product is imperfect. A young professional turns down a secure job because it does not align with their calling. A leader decides to confront a flawed system instead of adapting to it quietly. Crossing the Rubicon is never about the river. It is about refusing to leave your future in someone else's hands. The silence after the leap. People believe the most powerful moment was the crossing itself. But the truth is that the real shift happened afterward. Caesar did not celebrate. He did not look back. He did not second guess. He simply kept walking. The silence carried a strange calm. It was the calm of a man who had finally stripped away all options except forward. Modern leaders know this silence. It is the silence after you resign from a job to start your own path. It is the silence after you take ownership of a failing project and realize your reputation now depends on what happens next. It is the silence after you launch your first video, publish your first article, or file the paperwork for a company. That silence is not emptiness. That silence is identity settling into place. The psychology of no return. Caesar's choice activated deep psychological forces that still define leadership today. Once retreat became impossible, everything sharpened. There was no more emotional conflict, no more divided attention. His mind transformed from caution to clarity. His army transformed from followers to believers, and his enemies transformed from critics to strategists forced to react. Modern leadership mirrors this perfectly. When a founder commits publicly, the world takes them seriously. When a leader defines a bold vision, teams stop drifting and start aligning. When an individual decides who they are without apology, others begin to treat them accordingly. Identity becomes powerful only after commitment destroys the option of turning back. The return. March toward Rome. As Caesar moved south, cities opened their gates without a fight. Governors switched loyalty without negotiation. Even rivals who once mocked him now approached him with diplomacy instead of defiance. Caesar had not won through speeches or threats. He had won through the unmistakable energy of someone who had already chosen his destiny. We see the same pattern in the world today. The moment a leader moves decisively, the environment adjusts. Opportunities unfold. Doubters fall silent. Support emerges. When someone behaves as if their future is inevitable, the world begins to treat it as such. Movement creates momentum. Commitment creates gravity. The real lesson. The Rubicon was not just a river. It was a mirror. It showed Caesar who he truly was. And it shows us who we truly are. Every leader eventually reaches a moment where hesitation becomes more dangerous than action. Every leader stands at a river between who they are and who they could become. Your Rubicon may not involve soldiers or empires, but it always involves courage. It may be the decision to start something new. It may be the decision to walk away from what no longer serves you. It may be the decision to bet on yourself when no one else will. Leadership begins the moment you eliminate the option of turning back. The future belongs to those who take the step that frightens them the most. Your Rubicon is waiting. Your destiny is waiting. And the world will remember you not for the dreams you carried, but for the steps you dared to take.